Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me and G Funky on archive. This is Hispanics Causing Panic 26th edition. First, want to pay tribute to Danny Gonzalez, who unfortunately passed away after a shooting at a park during last weekend. Rest in peace to him. Rest in peace, champ.
We come out chased by hounds. Round and round we go, wearing a pinche rabbit's foot for luck, just ahead of the fucking hounds. ¿Qué hubo? ¡Ah! ¿Qué vida es? ¡Qué loca vida, home!
Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas. No hay que... Los cinturones aquí se hacen a un lado. Hay que pelear por honor y por gloria nada más.
I invite him into the ring, and like we say in Mexico, we don't fuck around. We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
We don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
What's your prediction for the fight, then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Pain.
Como decimos en México, hay que dejarnos de mamadas.
We come out chased by hounds.
Well, there you go, guys. What's going on, Chief Funky? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. Besides the fires we got going on around here, man, it's been like almost 2 weeks now of just smoky, smoggy, ashes everywhere, man. So, I mean, other than that, it's been good, man. You know, ready to talk some boxing, bro.
Absolutely. Zealots of Israel, Bruce Gold, Chicano Prophet, the boxing historian 206 on here. It says, all right, is legend for destroying Floyd Mayweather Jr. 10 years ago. Well, a lot of people haven't forgotten about that. You know what I mean? Man, we definitely look forward to having R.A. the Rugged Man on in a little bit, man. He'll be on here and he'll chop it up with us. He's got a new album, All My Heroes Are Dead. I feel that way about boxing, Chief Funky. Like, all my heroes are dead. Like, you know what I mean? We're just here waiting for some fights or something. You know what I mean? And,
right. I feel the same way, especially about
all my heroes are retired,
Yeah, a lot of guys that were my inspiration to become a musician, a lot of them have passed on too, man. So, I kind of get it,
Yeah, man, that's a little depressing right there. But first of all, what's your reaction to Danny Gonzalez, young fighter, good amateur, great amateur, actually. Had a future ahead of him. I just signed with Mayweather, and, someone took his life with some bullets in the park.
Very, very sad, man, to hear that. Kid with a bright future, who knows what he could have been. We can only speculate at this point since he's gone, but it's sad to see someone that young go, and then and especially to go in a violent way. Breaks my heart, man, to see that. But unfortunately, the world we live in, man, this happens too often, man. Hopefully, one day we can learn from these mistakes, man, and become better as a people, man. But rest in peace, champ.
Yeah, rest in peace to him, man. I talked about it yesterday with Ashley. I mean, nobody wants to see something like this, hear about this. And, tragic things happen by accident. You know, we don't need to be doing it to ourselves like that. You know, Chris Gallardo, how's it going to you? I think I said shout out to Nopal as well. You know, definitely the sad news of the weekend for sure. You know, and you know, thoughts and prayers to the family and all that. But I don't even know what to say really. You know what I mean? I mean, it's senseless violence that's going on, and a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. G Funky, you know what I mean? Like it's this would have been a big headline if all the other stuff wasn't going on. But unfortunately, we are where we are. Chris says, I told y'all Eddie Hearn was throwing Golden Boy under the bus. I mean, we'll talk about that, Chris, a little later. You know what I mean?
We'll get into that for sure.
Yeah. This is the zone thing Canelo's going to be talked about in HCP. Make no mistake about that. Shout out to everyone listening on the Leave It in the Ring network, man. To all our listeners there, we appreciate it. All those that listen on demand there on all podcast forms, you catch the show. All right. So shout out to Reggie Owens on here saying salute my peoples. How's it going, man? But hey, rest in peace to Danny Gonzalez. Hey, Chief Funky, it's like, what do we have to do as boxing fans to just can we get like 2 back-to-back weekends with good fights? Like every week there's fighters I never heard about on main events, and I feel like a broken record at this point. You know, I mean, I sound so much like a broken record. We have to bring a musician on. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel about it. Like I'm gonna get one on a little bit, but like what? You know what I mean, right? Like we can't seem to just get boxing going. Like all the fights are like in October. Like, where's the fights this weekend, man? I saw the fights. I don't give a shit if Joel Gonzalez is gonna be fighting. Like, you know what I mean? It's sorry. Like I've been talking about those level fights week after week after week after week after week. Like, god damn it, can I get some good fights like now? Why later? God damn. What's going on, G Funky? Am I wrong to be frustrated as a boxing fan with those that run boxing?
No, not at all, man. It has been frustrating. I mean, we talked about it over the summer. Top Rank coming back and doing their little summer series, and we were okay with it. It was average. We gave it average grades. But you know what? I'm getting sick and tired of average myself. So I'm ready to move on. I mean, this weekend we could have had Tyson and Roy Jones, but that fight got moved back. That's not, I mean, in my opinion, that's not really a big fight that would have any impact on the sport, really. But there were some people interested in it. But we got the Charlos coming up in a couple weeks. Their pay-per-view, and the next month we got some good stuff. November there's a couple big pay-per-views there. So we'll see, man. But my patience is running real thin at this point. Worn thin as a boxing fan.
Like I am. We were left with no boxing for a month and a half, and then they started slowly. They give us some. We're like, we accepted it for a month or two because we just wanted something. You know what I mean? But now it's like, come on. No Paul said it. No Independence Day fight. No 15 September big event. You know what I mean? Like what? That doesn't make sense, bro. Everybody's dropping the ball, bro. Next week, Chris is excited about Chavez Jr. versus El Travieso in an exhibition. Are you excited, Funky?
I'm not excited, but I'll be watching it because I was a big Chavez fan growing up. So, yeah, he's going to get Travieso, man, for sure.
Hey, Chavez wants De La Hoya, G Funky. What's up? In an exhibition, he said he'll put a beating on him. What do you think?
We're talking Chavez Jr., right?
No, senior.
Senior?
He wants a third fight with De La Hoya, bro. Dude's crazy. He's like 60 years old, okay? But, hey, let's bring on Ari the Rugged, man, bro. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up? I just went from Central Islip to Center Reach. You don't know how far that is. It's about 20-something minutes, but going through stop signs trying to get here on time. I forgot about the interview, man. I'm sorry about that. So didn't mean to be a couple minutes late. I'm one of them rappers that's usually on time all the time. How you guys doing?
Hey, man, we appreciate you. For us, this is on time. Like, boxers never come on time. And, like, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I'm one of the rappers that, like, I'm always at the airport, like, 3 hours early. I'm early for everything. So I was like, oh, can we curse on here? No, right? Yeah,
of course. Fuck yeah.
Oh, he said, fuck yeah. Sounds like, So I was rushing in the car. Damn, you seen I sent you my GPS. Like, look, I'm 10 minutes away. I'm coming.
Absolutely, man. Well, first of all, thank you for coming on HCP, Hispanics Causing Panic. You're familiar with Juan Lascano?
Yeah, of course. What happened?
All right. No, I just the name of the show is named after him, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
So I'm from El Paso, right? He grew up in El Paso, Texas. Chief Funk of Sacramento. He's fought out of Sacramento. That's where the name comes from.
Okay.
But so that's just how that goes, man. Well, first of all,
yeah. What's he up to these days?
Man, I heard some bad things. I don't want to, put some bad information out there, but a friend of mine who was a professional years back trained with Lascano, and he told me he's not doing so well right now. That's really all I want to say.
I'm guessing drugs then, because the world is destroyed by drugs right now. Everybody's on all different drugs. It's a freaking nightmare, man. Yeah, I used to like to watch that guy fight too. I'm not saying that's what it is, but that's my guess. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
He was an entertaining fight, and he'd fight anybody, So
yeah, absolutely, man. I want to start off by asking about your album. It came out in April, right, or June, or when did it come out?
Yeah, it just came out. Who cares the exact month? It just came out. All My Heroes Are Dead. If you're watching, it's in stores right now. 19 brand new songs. A lot of legends, a lot of legendary DJs, a lot of legendary producers, a lot of legendary MCs. A lot of dope musicians. It's really something I worked hard on, and I'm very proud of it. Yep. So
okay. Here's my first thing I'm wondering, because a lot of work goes into making an album,
Well, it depends whose album it is. Some of them they these days a kid will mumble in the studio for 3 seconds. The song's done,
Right, I got you. Well, I heard your stuff. Your stuff's good.
Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of old school hip hop, but talking about modern day stuff. We're very interesting. But it was a lot of hard work, I imagine.
Yeah, we like the hardest amount of work was the musical element, because I did a long album and I wanted to be cohesive, and I wanted to kind of almost like it was a musical score. So like if there was a dramatic moment on the lyricism, I had live musicians come in and play certain elements, and like I really me and the engineer Chris Conway spent a lot of time on musical elements and arrangement, and we spent our time on it to make it really, really work as an album, So I'm very proud of this one. I really think it's something I'm very proud of, and when I'm gone, I'm glad that it exists on this planet. For the short time you're here, you could do something special. I think I did something special with this one. So
yeah, this is a really good album. I do recommend people, again, All My Heroes Are Dead. Check that out, guys. But the reason I'm asking this question is, after all that work, and I'm looking at the date it was released, we're in the middle of a pandemic right now.
Yeah.
Or you can't go to different states around the world. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that was not part of the plan.
Well, no, the plan was to make a fucking brilliant album. Everybody likes it, and then you tour the world and make tons of money, because you make money every single night because you're doing a show every night. You do 150, 200 shows that year. That was my plan. But the whole world, look at the fighters. They weren't able to fight at first. Fights were getting canceled, but now they're figuring it out. But like me too, though. Now they're figuring it out. I had, a lot of European dates scheduled. They got rescheduled, and then now they're rescheduled again for April. But I got 4 dates in October. I'm playing Italy and Switzerland, Basel, and Belgium, and I think Romania. So the shows are starting. It's a small step, 4 shows. Usually I'd be disappointed, like 4 shows. What kind of tour is that? But now I'm like 4 shows, yes, 4 shows. And I'm not getting paid as much as I usually do for some of them, because a couple of them, they're like, yeah, we can't put 450 people in here when I'm loud. We have to do like 150 people and keep distance. And so are you willing to take a pay cut to do, because we can't make the same amount of money. So you got to make that decision. Do you go like, okay, we're going to play for a smaller room, do a little small concert for 150, loyal fans, and put some money in your pocket? Yeah, sure, I'll do it,
Yeah. I could just imagine that had to be really, really frustrating because just like as soon as you finish the album and then whoa, like what's up? This invisible thing showed up.
Yeah, you know what? Life though.
Yeah.
We all been hit hard. So if you lose some money, that's life. I can't, it didn't even hit me that hard. It was, because I got to spend some time with my kids and I was looking forward to touring, obviously, and I was looking forward to make a lot of money and put it away for my children for the future. But life, anything could happen. So, losing some money ain't that big a fucking deal. You could lose the person you love the most tomorrow. This person, we're only here for a short time. So if you're gonna let money destroy you and really kick you in the ass, I was very excited. The reception that the album got, like the reaction I wanted by the people who heard it really was what I wanted. And say I was touring the world making tons of money and everybody kind of didn't understand where I was going with the album, I probably would have been heartbroken, But the fact that the world really loves this album, and I take that over the money sometimes, which is kind of the story of my life. Art over money, but it's really how my brain works. I'd rather have something like I said, because when you're gone, the money ain't here no more. So, and I'm proud of my record. So that's more important than doing shows every single night, making hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And that's rare. I'm sorry, DAZN, but that's a rare thing to hear from people that are in the music industry, to say, you know what, I prefer the art, or at least, take time to make something really, really good. Like you said earlier, some guys will go on there and just mumble a few words and then boom, it's a hit record. Like your album was a breath of fresh air to me, man. I just want to say that.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Because it's easy to just rap over beats. I could do, if I put an album out every 6 months and just rapping over beats, I could do that easily. But I wouldn't be happy with the product. So, so.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, this is a really good album, man. I did listen through it. Some of the songs are pretty intense, bro. Like that song "Wondering."
Oh yeah,
I heard that song, and then I was mad at I was mad at that rapist. So did that guy die? Did he rot in hell? Like, what happened? I was just wondering.
Yeah, well, no, it's a story. It's a true story where he just keeps going, and that the story's based on a real girl that I know, and she didn't kill herself. That's based, each one of the stories is based on 2 or 3 people, but the actual rape of that one was based on something in the Popular Kid, and like he did it to a couple other girls, and kind of everybody just went on with life, and it happened, So and like the heroin addiction story was based on a guy who I know who passed, and then a relative I know who passed, and then it was also based on the mother who loses her child. Which my sister lost, not to drugs, but she had lost her son, and my father had and mother had lost their daughter and their son. So it was like, adding all the stories into one. Look, the boy's addicted, and then loss, and how you deal with the death of the person you love more than anything in the world. So yeah, that song is it's a little hard, to some people, and a lot of people crying when we played it for them in the studio, and that's when you knew you did it right, when you could bring out emotion to people and make them cry like that, so.
Yes.
Absolutely, because it hits home with some people. Everybody, has tragedies happen to them in life. Not those specific ones, but things that happen. So to me, that's a sign of a good artist, man. When you can hit home with people, when you can relate to them on a certain level, and I think that's a great thing there, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, man. And we're just writing words on paper and recording them. And, sometimes we don't realize the effect we have on people, because like you get these messages in your inbox of some people who are ready to end their life, or somebody who might have had lost their children, or like all these incredibly sad stories. And they come and hit us up in our inboxes to tell us, like, look, your music is helping us survive these tragedies in our life, and it's like wow, like my fucking little song that I wrote with my little pen and just said it, So, and I'm not the only one. Obviously, I'm extra special because of it. It's just that people in society, gravitate towards music a lot, and our words inspire or affect people more than we realize when we're in the booth just saying them, So, yeah.
There was another song. I forget what song it was, but you'll probably know right away. Where you're rapping about, talking to a girl that you tell her you like boxing. She's not, I'm into MMA.
Yeah.
I can relate to that a lot, dude.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I'm into watch boxing, but they watch MMA.
Yeah, well, that song was a song that we were making fun of ourselves, like with the throwbacks. And I'm dating a girl that was born the year that Big Daddy Kane came out, and I was already rapping and had my boombox, So it was from different generations. So obviously, you see that generational thing where like the old school cat will be like, I fuck with boxing. Boxing's my shit. I'm from the era of Marvin Hagler, and they'd be like, yo, I like who's the idiot Irish guy that fought Floyd?
Irish guy. Oh,
I Conor McGregor or whatever, like yeah, fuck Conor, fuck that shit, But yeah, but it's no disrespect to MMA as a sport, though. I actually, before he got injured in that one fight, and before he started losing, I thought Anderson Silva was pretty spectacular because he used his feet almost as hand game, like the same way boxers use their hands. He was like, his kick, and his striking. He was interested in the sport. I like that. He was making MMA into like a chess match, where a lot of the fans almost complain sometimes, like, oh, he was running away. It's like, yo, he's, it's more to combat sports than just attack and kill. It's I like the thinking fighters. Who I loved, who just put up a funny video today was in the 90s, or no, I guess 2000. No, I guess late 90s, early 2000s. I was a fan of the heavyweight Chris Bird. Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah.
Light heavyweight too, yeah.
Yeah, he's on the internet now, 50 years old with his shirt off. He's skinny as hell, but like with muscles now. He's like vegan, and he's talking about making a comeback now. He said he's going to win the middleweight champion of the world. I'm like, oh, these old guys got to stop, man. They got to stop. But he was I loved him as a heavyweight. Some people didn't like his style because it was too much of a chess game, and he didn't have no power. They like knockouts at heavyweight. But this was a guy at middleweight, moved up to heavyweight, had a middleweight punch. He was, and he just beat these. He fought all the monsters. He lost to some and he beat some. He lost to Ibeabuchi, but he beat Klitschko, Amanda Holyfield, David Tua. Like he was, I really love that style of being able, having the guts to go in there with all monsters. He lost to the other Klitschko brother, but he was. I like Chris Bird. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Chris had to fight like that.
Mm-hmm.
What's he gonna do? Stand and trade with these guys? Like, nah.
Or he could have acted like a normal person and fought at middleweight, where he belonged. So.
Yeah, you could say that again.
But I enjoyed watching that style. But I remember when I'd say that publicly, people were like, Chris, I don't like a lot of people didn't like Chris, but I like Chris.
Yeah, I like Chris a lot. You mentioned him, and people already in the chat, like, have you asked him about Floyd? Have you asked him about Floyd? How did that go down in that radio show?
Oh, well, the thing is, somebody asked me about Floyd while I was doing an interview, randomly asked me about Floyd. And then I said, yo, Floyd is like one of the most talented guys in the whole game, but like he needs to fight better opposition. And apparently he was listening, or maybe 50 was listening because it was Shade 45. I don't know who the fuck was listening, but somebody was listening and said, yo, Floyd, this guy said you ain't fight, so Floyd has the ego. So Floyd just called up like, hey, what's up, fellas? So I was like, who is this? He's like, Floyd Mayweather. I was like, yo, when are you going to fight somebody in the top 3 in your own weight class,
Yeah, at that time, he hadn't fought anybody.
But the thing with Floyd is, years later, you go from a fan standpoint and you come from the era where like, Sugar Ray Leonard was fighting, Tommy Hearns when they were both in their prime, and like everybody, the tough fights eventually got made in the prime of their careers. So I came from that era of growing up watching that, but now it's a different game. It's a business, like Canelo waits for GGG to look slow when he gets older, and now it's the time to fight him. It's like it's a different, it's a whole different, Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fought like 6.5 years late, after Pacquiao already got knocked out cold by Marquez, and neither guy had knocked anybody out in like a decade. It's like, oh yeah, so it's a different era. And Floyd, he has this motto where it's which is smart. It's a businessman, but I'm not from that era. Like, I'm the art guy. Remember the art over money guy? Right. He has that motto: highest reward for the least risk. So you fight a bigger name when he's not, that's what he did. You fight instead of who was the crazy, Paul Williams, Margarito. Instead of fighting Margarito and Paul Williams, you fight Baldomir, because you fight Zab Judah, you fight these guys. It's like, so he knew the big names over that, so he made a lot of money doing that. And look at his last fight. He fought the biggest name in MMA and made more money than almost every fight he ever, or probably more money than any fight he ever made. He fought Conor McGregor, and the fans ate it up and bought the bullshit, just like they ate up Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather. I remember they were like, this is like the Thriller Manila. This is like, no, it's not.
Dude, he bragged about it. Like, he was calling it the biggest heist in the history of boxing, when he was dressed up as a burglar and stuff, like, he did it in front of everybody's face. By the way, as someone who's been watching boxing my whole life, I just want your opinion on this, but dude, I know for a fact he carried Conor. I know for a fact.
Yeah, but even though the MMA fans were so ignorant and stupid, they really believed that this guy had a shot. And then they were like, look, he landed more. I'm like, yeah, because when a man is a threat, Floyd purposely makes sure he fights defensive. He makes sure not to. He was fighting Conor like this, just moving forward the whole time. Like, this guy can't punch for shit. He punches like a bitch. Like, Conor can't punch. He's not a professional pugilist. He's a fucking MMA fighter. So in the first round, Conor hit him with like an uppercut. It didn't even do shit. And then Floyd's like, oh, this guy hits like a girl. I got this. I could walk forward, have fun, not even give a shit. Like, And then the MMA fans like, oh, look, Conor's doing good. No, he didn't do good. He's just
Did Floyd bet on himself on the over-under in that fight?
He did?
Yeah.
Isn't that illegal?
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Are you positive about that? Because that got to be illegal.
He bragged about it. Like, he bragged about it. He actually did say, he said, at first, they wouldn't let me do a certain amount, but why would I do that if I want to make money?
I don't know if that's true. I'm not saying it's not either. I'm not gonna, because it could be true. But I feel like that's illegal. Like I think
it should be.
I mean, if you do that shit in baseball, you're destroyed. Yeah, right. But boxing, you could be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do whatever round, or maybe
boxers can bet on themselves.
Oh, they can?
Yeah. Christy Martin was on her show. She said she bet on herself in fights.
Yeah.
It shouldn't happen. I agree with you 100%.
So you say the over and under. So if I last over 6 rounds, then I get this much more money.
The over under was in the 10th, and that's when Floyd stopped him.
Wow. I'm ignorant now, because I just figured, okay, I got you. Yeah, because I remember there was people, Bernard Hopkins. You're right. You're allowed to bet on yourself. It just went over my head because I was thinking, he carried the fight to make the. I got you. But
they should stop that, though. They shouldn't allow fighters to bet.
But I remember B-Hop, when he fought Trinidad, he put Golden Palace on his back. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
And I believe that they paid him $300,000 to do it. But then B-Hop, I believe, put the $300,000 on himself, winning the fight, and turned it into like $3 million or some shit. I forgot what it was.
Wow.
Breaking my heart with that one, man. I was a big Trinidad fan.
Oh, I love Trinidad to death, man. I love them. But you know what? I was a huge B-Hop fan, and that was one of, I got a lot of predictions wrong in my life, like everybody. But there were certain ones where that one I went publicly and told everybody, to Max Kellerman. I told everybody. I said, B-Hop's going to beat Trinidad. He's had too long of a career at middleweight, and if he loses the first huge superstar name that he fights, that all goes down the drain. Like they're all going to go, oh, see what happens when you fight a superstar, and it's the same thing that happened to GGG, except GGG couldn't beat Canelo on the cards. But everybody avoided him for his whole career. Sergio Martinez avoided him, Cotto avoided him, Canelo avoided him. When he was in his prime, and then he gets to fight Canelo when he slows up and not looking as good, and now everyone's like, see, he never beat anybody. He's overrated. It's like, no, he's in his 30s and he's done, kind of, but not done, but because he's in my opinion he beat Canelo both times, and Canelo was juicing in the one fight. Definite, probably both, So. He was definitely juicing. Allegedly, I guess I can't legally say it, but he was definitely juicing, in my opinion. Allegedly, I guess I got to throw that in there in the fucking in the 175 fight where you go to Sergey Kovalev like one and he's like a big like, come on, man, boxing's fucked up. And now he's suing a DAZN and Golden Boy after all the hiding of his foulness that they've done.
Right.
I almost feel like they should call him and be like, look,
I gotta tell you, Ari, we got a lot of Canelo fans in the chat. But
that's
it's all right.
what happens when it's the biggest superstar on the planet.
Sure.
You're gonna have fans, There's a lot of I don't know who's a pop star. There's a lot of pop star fans too, but Canelo's a pop star. He's a pop star. He could fight. He could fight. Right. But, the juiced up 175 guy, I don't believe him.
I don't believe that version. Wow. Well,
I don't believe that guy's real. So. Yeah.
Hey, man, I want to ask you. Not to go off the boxing topic. This is a boxing show, but I want to ask you about one of the songs on the album, the Golden Oldies. I think that's probably my favorite song on the album, because I feel like you paid great tribute to some of the old school guys, man. Like I heard you mention Melly Mel, Kumo D, Big Daddy Kane, even the line from the Gang Starr line, the lemonade was a popular drink and it still is. Oh, great stuff, man. I wanted to share something with you. I actually got the single album from that Gang Starr, that Gang Starr line. Just classic stuff, man. And I love it, man. I think that your album, man, really brought me back to those days, man.
Thank you.
What was the inspiration for that song, man?
Well, Slug actually came at me with his verse first, and it was like about being old. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do the same angle he did, so how can I make it interesting in my way without doing the same thing he's doing, So I said, oh, you'll do the analogy of a relationship. You're dating this girl that's born the golden era of hip hop, 88, and and show the conflicts of generations through that, So that's where that came from. And the chorus, Eamon, who does the chorus, we originally drew a whole bunch of old school choruses up, and we were like, clap your hands, everybody. We did all these like old school hip hop chants, and then when we were mixing the record, we were like, nah, we're talking about, we're still, lemonade was a popular drink and it still is, Slug atmosphere, R-rated rugged man, still that popular drink. Just rock with that, and it worked, So.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. And I like a lot of the guys that you featured. Brought back a lot of good memories. Guys from the Wu-Tang, Ghostface, Killa, and Inspector Deck, Cool G Rap. My God, I mean that guy is
he went crazy. Yo, are the Canelo kids all killing me in the comments? Is that what you look all quiet?
No. They're behaving right now. They'll kill us for it later.
I know they get sensitive. You can't say nothing about a famous person.
It's just crazy, but it's all right.
Don't hate, congratulate. Yeah, eating them clenbuterol hamburgers.
Ooh. Hey,
And
but
he schooled them twice. So him getting beat up and walking backwards, scared to death of GGG in the first fight, that's schooling him? That's your idea, schooling him? That's
I'll
some
tell you
fanboy
what.
shit right there.
I'll say this. This is what I'll say. In the first fight, Canelo moved a lot in that
And he
fight.
lost, clearly.
You know? And
He
I thought he lost too.
clearly.
well, Triple G came out and he said he didn't fight me Mexican style, right?
Oh, the second fight he did. Canelo stepped it up.
I think Triple G moved around a little too much in that second fight. I think.
But why was there a second fight? Because they robbed him the first fight, and he was the cash cow. So they said, "How we got to change?" You know what I mean?
That's another payday too.
And the judges and Golden Boy, and they're getting what they deserve for robbing the public. Now Canelo turned on them.
Well,
hey, man, I'm right there with you, man. I've been getting dragged through the dirt because I'm one of the rare guys that thinks the same way as you. I felt GDG won both times.
Well, it's not
It's
not a rare guy. There's a lot of people in the world. Maybe in your thing because Canelo's popular or something. But like, there's a lot of people in the world that if you look around that were like, people. There's a lot of people that believe in reality.
I don't know. Hey man, I had Canelo winning that second fight. Like if you go tempo system.
Well, there were some people I respect that thought it went either way, But but like I said, the way they got it to that second fight was by cheating Canelo GGG to make the next fight. And, Canelo can't win on the card against that kid. He can't. And now he's even older. There's his third fight. It's like, oh yeah, So.
Well, speaking of Canelo and speaking about celebrities and all this stuff, DAZN, man, I don't think like the people that own that app really know. And the reason I'm saying this is because they decided that putting two YouTube celebrities on a main event, right, and put Devin Haney, a young up-and-coming fighter, on the undercard was a smart idea, right? So now they're having issues with Ryan Garcia, who wants to get paid more money because he has a lot of Instagram followers and like stuff that was never an issue. And then now I'm getting word that at first I thought DAZN said no to him fighting his sparring partner. That's who he was going to fight, right? That Advil Urine, whatever the dude's name is his sparring partner. And that dude had a loss 2 years ago and hasn't fought since, right? So I get why DAZN said no to that fight, right? Yeah. But now I'm getting word that they were saying no to Billy Joe Saunders, to Callum Smith, who are pretty good opponents. And they wanted Canelo to fight Khabib. He wanted to box Khabib from the UFC, Masvidal, or Conor McGregor.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
When you pay a guy $500 million, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for dollar signs. Right. Callum Smith is for the boxing heads. Billy Sanders is for the boxing heads. That would be a good, interesting fight. That the Sanders and Canelo. It's not going to generate money like Khabib. Khabib would make, So they overpriced Canelo. They $500 million for this guy. They're not going to make that. So the only way they could do it is if they do celebrity shit, and that's what sells tickets. They learned it from Floyd. They learned it from the other event that you said they did. They learned it from look what was about to happen. Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson. They just took these big famous names that don't even box anymore, and it was and that's the fight that everyone was talking about. We're in a dumbed down celebrity culture, and that's how to make money. It's like, look at our president is fucking Donald fucking Trump. It's a celebrity culture. Look at Kim Kardashian that doesn't even do anything. She's the most famous person on the, so it's not about boxing skills anymore. And when you put up $500 million, they want to make some of that money. And the way to make that money is, if they do a Sanders fight, they'll lose. What are they going to make on that fight? They're going to have us watching it I don't even know if I'll watch it, because he'll be, Canelo come in juicy, you know, I don't know if I support that no more.
Hey.
Didn't Sanders get caught cheating too with juice?
Yeah, Sanders
Yes,
got
he
caught.
did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so we'll have two of them. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I can't deal with all the steroid use in the sport no more either. It's like, come on, guys, you're putting people's lives in line, on the line, and then you got hit, just like the Povetkin fight. I just talked about this recently, but like, I'm a fan of Povetkin's past, his career. But then when you get busted twice for juicing, and now you're 41 years old and you punch a guy with one, you're like a beautiful combination. It was beautiful, but and he's knocked out. It's like, maybe he wasn't juicing, but like once you get caught twice, I'm looking at come on, he's a juice head. That's what starts going through my head now. It's like it's a turn off of the sport for me, man. It's and it was probably going on earlier. And I wasn't educated on it, you hear these stories about the legends like Holyfield and Roy Jones and these guys, but it's tough. And who was speaking up against it? Now he's in trouble for some racial comments or something that was said. But Paulie Malignaggi was really he would call out everybody who he thought, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised he didn't get in trouble for that. But he was pretty open to what he thought, So, but even Victor Conte, who with Balco and who was the football players and everybody, and he was supplying steroids for back in the day. But he went on Twitter for a long time, and he was he'd always give his input on who he thought was juicing or what he thought looked like a steroid incident, But I guess in this world, if you're not doing it and someone else is doing it, it's like they all want to one-up each other, So,
well, I think the issue with boxing compared to other sports when it comes to steroids or performance enhancers, is it's a gladiatorial sport. These guys are damaging each other. You don't need any extra. It's already a violent. It's the most violent sport in the world. You go by death.
You know how many fighters right? You probably know fighters personally, right? You know a lot of them, right? Yeah, sure. Because if you're a fan, the boxers are very public. You get to meet a lot of them. So you probably met some world champions, and you talk to them when they're 35, 40, 42, 45, and you see how much damage so many of their brains have received through the years. Like you're talking to them and you're like, oh, there's something off there. There's something slow that like they are getting brain damage. Now you're adding, and slurred speech, they can't take the same anymore. It's like, and now you're throwing dudes juiced up on steroids, knocking you unconscious into the equation. Come on, man. And I have nothing against the sport of boxing when two grown men, hey, we're gonna fight. I love the sport more than anything, but and they know what they're getting into. So if their brain has problems later on, they understand the risks. But when they never signed up to get punched in the head by beefed up steroid dudes knocking them unconscious. Nobody signed up for that,
Right. Yeah. Look, the steroids is definitely an issue in boxing. But like in the Povetkin case, right? I mean, Dillian White, his opponent, got caught too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not defending any of them. And honestly, I have no proof that Povetkin juiced up that fight. And if neither guy ever got caught and I watched that fight, I would have been like, wow, that was the greatest fight of the year. Wow. Right. But like when I went to Japan with Nonito Donaire, and that dude's just all natural. You look, there's nothing crazy. He's just like, he's like a thin guy. You would think the guy, like if you seen Nonito Donaire at 7-Eleven, you'd be like, I'd punch the shit out of that guy fast. And then he'd light you up and you'd be unconscious. He doesn't look like these guys, and he, you see what a great champion is. He lost some big fights, but he won some huge fights, and he's a warrior and a champion. So much respect for Nonito Donaire,
Well, what do you think boxing has to do to at least get that perception out of the way? Because they're already doing like VADA testing, USADA testing, but then when I read stories that come out, I mean, I don't know.
It's all flawed. It's all flawed, yeah. And they have ways around it now, and when there's money involved, they want their fighter to be the best fighter, so they let it happen now. Like, oh, let that happen. Even honestly, I'm not. But with the Pacquiao Floyd fight, there was some. What did he do? He did
Look, Floyd's done a lot of
yeah, but he was doing
silocaine on his hands so he doesn't feel pain.
Yeah, I know about that, but no, there was after the Pacquiao fight that before he was caught doing
Well, he got a therapeutic use exemption to use an IV, right?
Yeah.
And well, that's obviously to help him make the weight, and so like you shouldn't be able to do that. But also, not only that, both Pacquiao and Floyd submitted the exact same paperwork to have some type of, I forget the name, but some painkiller, right?
Yeah.
They allowed Floyd to use it, but they didn't allow Pacquiao to use it for his shoulder.
Well, that's why Floyd always fought in Vegas, because that was, it's a gangster thing. It's a mob thing. Boxing's a shady business, and his people are in town. It's like say you have beef. Do you want to go settle some beef and fly a plane over to England, or do you want to be in your neighborhood where your guys have all the guns, your guys have all the knives? You make that phone call. Yeah, Floyd's neighborhood is Vegas. That's where his people are. That's where his protection is. That's where he's looked after. That's where the other fighter isn't looked after. So that's why Floyd, he could have sold out a 200,000 people stadium if he wanted to. He was so big, with the right opponent. What I mean? Sure. If Pacquiao versus Floyd, that could have did it. I mean, I don't know if they have 200,000.
Jerry Jones offered a lot of money to have that fight in Cowboy Stadium. Pacquiao,
but he wouldn't have been. He would have been on. He wouldn't have had his gang, his boxing gang. His protectors. So yeah, it's a shady business.
I'm in the belief that fight, like the whole process of Manny versus Floyd, from the wait, like 5 fucking years,
6.5
to the fight itself. I mean, I felt insulted when I watched that fight.
Terrible
threw
fight.
The least amount of punches that they ever threw in a 12-round fight. In that fight, both of them.
It's a different era. Like think about it. When it was Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard had offensive skills, defensive skills, but they had this thing where they knew they had to entertain the crowd, So, if Sugar Ray was winning the fight easy and the crowd, he's like, okay, let me throw some flurries. Let me go, It's different when he fought Marvin Hagley at a 3.5-year layoff. That wasn't his, be all end all fight, but it was still more entertaining than the fucking Pacquiao. When Floyd was there, and the crowd needed to be entertained. I mean, when Sugar Ray Leonard was there and the crowd needed to be entertained, he would put it up and okay, now and he'd get a stoppage in the 7th. He'd do that, and he could fight more than one style. Like Hearn started outboxing him for a minute, and then Sugar Ray Leonard said, "Now I'm going to fight aggressive and I'm going to fight this style," and he switched it up in 2 hands. It's a different thing. Sugar Ray Robinson, he was able to knock you out with the right, the left. He was able to fight offense. He was able to fight defense. He wasn't scared to get hit sometimes. Like he if he wanted to spend the whole fight not getting hit, he could have. But that wasn't that's not their style. Their style was to entertain the fans, and win.
It's one. You're mentioning Sugar Ray Robinson, and one thing Floyd likes to do is call himself the best ever. Right.
Yeah, well, every boxing historian knows that's not true.
Yeah, of course not. But what I'm trying to say is this. So, look, man, you can get Robinson in a time machine, and he could fight in this era, right?
Of course.
Floyd Mayweather cannot fight in that era.
Oh, nobody.
This dude, like just by this alone, right? He had orthopedic boxing gloves. Okay, those are gloves designed to protect your hands from breaking. Okay, particular. They didn't have those gloves back then.
Yep.
Okay, and Floyd couldn't do what Robinson did. Robinson could have gone 50-0 in this era. Well, Mayweather couldn't fight over 100 fights in Robinson's era. Yep. He was too brittle.
Yep.
He's too brittle.
Well, remember when they were like, "Oh, Floyd should fight GGG," and everyone's like, "You're crazy. That's a big guy." What do you think Sugar Ray Robinson did? He go from little guy to little guy, then he'd go up and fight the biggest, scariest Jake LaMotta monster at 160. Like he was fight. Then he'd go up, oh, let me fight Joey Maxwell. He was doing all of that. But here's the thing too. When they say, oh, sports advance and they get, athletes get better in time, that's not true in boxing because boxing was more brutal back in the day. Fighters are more protected now. Back in the day, they'd fight 7, 8 fights a month. They'd fight every single style, every single type.
Rounders.
Not even if you go even more back, 20 rounders, you know, or if you want to even go even further back than that, they was fighting till people were bored. Like, oh, you guys are all gonna die. It's 6.5 hour fight. Let's call it a draw.
I do want to just retro boxing documentaries. He was a former member of Leave It in the Ring. You were on the Leave It in the Ring network as a guest several times, like years ago. I'm sure you've done a lot of shows. So, but Blood Now, he's retro boxing and documentaries. It does a lot of great documentaries. He has one about Pernell Whitaker. He's working on one of Salvador Sanchez. Wow. I definitely recommend you check those out. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're out already?
You can go to his channel and they're on there.
Wow.
Yeah. Great stuff. And he's working on the Salvador Sanchez one is not out yet. But definitely a great channel to check out, especially if you want to learn more about or just kind of just, you know, you'll learn a lot in those documentaries.
Salvador Sanchez had that look, you know, because he had the funny hair and the nice guy face. I remember before I really knew, I think, what year did he pass? 82?
80, wasn't 80?
80? It was at 80?
I think it was 82, late 82.
Whatever it was, I was too young at the time to know. You know, I don't even think I had seen him fight when he was alive, you know? And I remember then when I'd start picking up boxing magazines when I was like, you know, 10, 11 or whatever, I'd see this funny face with this afro smiley face and I'm like, who's this silly guy, you know? And then I found out that he was this monstrous, killer, incredible, amazing fucking shit. Like that smiley face, happy guy could fuck up. Like I learned about Salvador Sanchez greatness, like, you know, later on, you know, because I just remember seeing his picture in the boxing magazines, thinking he was a funny guy, you know, like you know, with that hair, and he always had that face, you know, and then. Yes,
with the poses, but then like the bow with the ring, it was like a machine.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. If you watch his fights, rest in peace to the great Salvador Sanchez, man.
Yeah.
Great Salvador Sanchez, and it's a shame that we didn't get to see what would have become of him. You know, like if he was in that era, because that era, the '80s, man, had a lot of so many great fighters. You know, oh my God.
Yeah, I want to say, man, I want to, you know, thank you for coming on. I mean, we've had here for like a good 45 minutes. Don't want to take up too much of your time, but I want to say, man, whenever you want to come talk boxing, man, you're more than welcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks for helping promote my record, because, you know, this is all I have is promo, you know, people talking, spreading the word. That's really, you know, we don't have big budgets to throw campaigns everywhere. So all of this stuff helps, man. So, yeah, much love and respect.
Yeah, no, most definitely, man. Thanks for coming on, bro.
All right.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
R.A. the Rugged Man. Man, I could talk boxing with that dude all day, bro. You know what I mean?
And he ruffled some feathers while he was here, man. I like it. I'm liking that.
That's big. He's gonna, you know, and by the way, guys, All My Heroes Are Dead. Great album. Check it out, man. You know, check out that album. Great stuff. I can't wait to share this video. That was some gold stuff right there. I know Nopal was getting mad, bro. Like what? What did he just say? Like, you know, like
Nopal punching the air like this right now.
Canelo fans were getting ruffled, bro. Like, it's cool, you know. I still think Canelo won the rematch, though.
Hey, him and Chicano Prophet right now are looking like the kid from Boys in the Hood when he comes home, he starts punching in the air. He's pissed off, man. They're pissed off right now, but yeah, I agree with it, man. I think you know, I scored both fights for Triple G. Although I you know, the second fight for me could have went either way. There's a lot of close rounds in that fight, but for me, it was for sure he won the first fight, man. In my opinion,
I had a draw. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Hey, Chief Funky, it's official, bro. I forgot to ask him about Teofimo Lopez, but it's all right. Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, man. What's up? It's official now. I thought it was already official, by the way. And then I'm like, they signed it, okay?
Yeah, kind of weird how it all. Kind of weird how it all went down, but I'm glad that they officially put. You know, let me give you an illustration here. All right, pen to paper, you know, they actually got the shit signed, and we're on, man. There's no excuses now, man. All you guys that were going around hating on Teofimo Lopez, saying he was trying to duck and all this nonsense. The boy got his money that he wanted, and he got the fight that he wanted. He signed the contract. He's in the gym. He's talking smack. He's ready to do this thing, man. He went on First Take the other day and said, "Look, man, I'm different from the guys that quit against Lomachenko. You know, I'm not two-weight division smaller. You know, I'm not just overmatched here." He said, "I have no respect for this guy, man. This is a fight, and I'm coming here to fight this dude, man. I'm gonna knock his damn head off, man. I like the mentality. I like it, man. No fear in there, man." Exactly.
Now, what's up, Loma fans? What's up? Where you at? Because this dude's gonna get decapitated. All right? You understand me? Decapitation, bro. Like that dude's walking. He's not walking to the ring. He's walking to the gallows. That's where he's walking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Simple as that. You know, but hey, you're right though. He did ruffle some feathers there, but it's all right. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's all good, man. We know Canelo. We know his
By
fans.
the way, like I know, like I'm from a boxing fan's perspective, but a lot of casuals, you know, that I know, it's a mix, bro. There really isn't like a consensus, you know, on a rematch. You know, the first fight, just about everybody I know thinks like Triple G dominated, but you know,
I wouldn't say he dominated, no, but I think he
a
won
little-
more rounds.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he won more rounds for sure. But dominate, no, I don't think either guy has been dominated, first or second. If there's going to be any domination in the series, it'll be in the third one. Canelo will dominate the shit out of him.
Canelo will beat the shit out of him. It's not even a fair fight anymore, bro. Just let it go, guys. Let it go. You know what I mean? Like Billy Joe Saunders is a tougher fight.
Yeah, much tougher fight. Yeah.
And by the way, this is why Ari brought up a good point. I mean, everything they're paying Canelo, dude, it's best they just split up. You remember I was talking about it? Mutual agreement, mutual split. Because I kind of want to talk about that next, man. This DAZN. You know, I haven't really heard you talk about it, G Funky. You know, I gave my thoughts yesterday a little bit on it. So go ahead and tell everybody, man, what do you think? This whole Canelo Golden Boy promotion. He's suing Golden Boy and DAZN, bro. He's suing them both. Talk to us.
Yep. Well, here's my opinion on the whole matter. And you know, shout out to a few guys who informed us of what was going on last night. Breaking news. We had some breaking news here on D-Style's channel when the news came out. But you know, the thing is this, man. DAZN, you know, I've had my criticisms of them, and they're gonna remain the same because I just don't think that they know what the hell they're doing here. You know, when it comes to boxing, you know, they offer a guy a huge contract, you know, with guaranteed money. That's the first thing, that they guaranteed the man money. So, you know, where I come from, that means you got to pay the man, you know? So, you know, they're having issues with, you know, the guys who he wanted to fight, the Advil urine dude. I spoke out against that. I said I didn't like the fight. I think it was dumpster juice. I have no idea how this fucking guy is even ranked #1 in the WBC. Like, that's just ridiculous to me. This guy's nothing. Nobody's heard of him. He's been knocked out by Chris Eubank, and, you know, he's fighting guys with like 31 losses. Like, how does this dude even get in the top 10, let alone rank #1? A terrible fight. I can understand why DAZN said no to that fight. But then we got guys like, again, we just mentioned it, Billy Joe Saunders. I think is a good fight for Canelo. He's got the kind of style. He's a southpaw. He could give Canelo some trouble. So I think that's an interesting fight. Even the Callum Smith is a good fight. You know, better than Advil urine for sure. So, you know, I don't know what the problem is with those two fights. I really don't know what the problem is and why they won't take those two fights. But they wanted this guy to fight MMA dudes, Khabib and Mazadov, and then and the worst of the whole thing, Oscar De La Hoya. Are you kidding me? They wanted this dude to fight his promoter, 47-year-old Oscar De La Hoya. Guys have been in the ring in over 10 years. Come on, man. Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous, man. These guys, they don't know how to promote boxing. You know, they're terrible for the sport, man. They are. They really are. I've mentioned this already before. People have been having a rough time watching Canelo ever since he's been on DAZN. People have been calling me and you know, asking me, you know, they'll find out literally the day of, like, hey, is Canelo fighting? Like, how do I watch it? And who's he fighting? You know? It's terrible, man. It's terrible what they've done. I'm not mad at Canelo for doing what he's got to do. The guy, you know, they guaranteed him money. That's the bottom line. The contract was a guaranteed contract. And this is why I wish that boxing was ran like other sports, you know. You know, let's just use, I don't know, I guess the NBA, for example, right? If a team signs a player to a huge contract, you know, a max contract, you know, and after a few years they're like, you know what? I feel like we need to move on from this guy. Maybe he's not as good as we thought, or maybe he's not you know, getting the team over the hump like we thought. So guess what? They could just take that same contract and just trade him and then let somebody else pay that money. Another owner could pay that money, you know, like I don't know, and I don't claim to know how contracts and negotiations work. You know, I'm not that type of boxing fan. I don't give a damn about that. I only care about the best fights and what's good for the sport. But if there's a way where they could do that, where the DAZN could just say, you know what, we don't want to pay him, we don't want to honor the contract, blah, blah, blah. Let another promoter pick it up who thinks that they could do better with Canelo, or feel like they could do better matchups with Canelo. You know, like, I think that would be a fucking brilliant thing, but I just don't think boxing works that way. But that's, you know, that's DAZN's problem, man. They should have never gave this guy the guaranteed money if they didn't want to pay him. So he's got every right. He's got every right to take these dudes to court and say, look, man, you guys said you're going to give me money. Give me my fucking money. You know, like, I'm never one of these dudes that will hate on a fighter getting money, man. You know, they deserve it. They put their life on the line every time they step into that ring, you know, so they deserve to get paid. So I'm not mad at Canelo for this. My only issue was, again, with him trying to fight that Advil urine dude. And, but it seems like they already had a couple of replacements that were good fights. So, you know, DAZN, you know, let the man go, give him his money, or do whatever you got to do, man. But, you know, he deserves the right to that money, man. That's his money. They guaranteed it to him, man. So I'm not mad at him for that. I'm mad at DAZN. Yeah,
the DAZN, I could understand that they want a big event that's going to make them a lot of money, right? But you don't, like, sell out like that. Like, you don't, like, just, like, turn this into a damn charade. And, you know, like, I don't understand why DAZN is doing this. You know, like, this doesn't make sense. You know, and at some point, hey, like, first of all, you signed a guy, right? You bragged about how you're the death of pay-per-view. You talked about how you're the future of boxing, but then you don't want to give us boxing, bro. That's not boxing. What you're giving us, you're giving us circus shows, circus acts. Logan Paul against that mother, like CSI. What was his name?
I can't remember the dude's name. It's not important because these dudes aren't even fighters, but they're giving these dudes millions of dollars. You know, ridiculous.
It is absolutely ridiculous. Yes. All right. Of course, that's ridiculous. The death of pay-per-view. Yeah, that's what they were saying. Oh, CSI, ESI, whatever the fuck the dude's name is. All right. KSI. Is it KSI? Okay. Yeah, all right. KSI. Whatever. Okay. So CSI Special Unit versus Paul Logan or whatever his name, like St. Peter and Paul, whatever. I don't care. It's bullshit. It's what it is. They're giving us bullshit. Do they really believe, like, if the DAZN wants to be the home of celebrity fighting and circus acts, and then just do that then. Stop pretending to be an app for boxing. All right? We're not a sideshow. We're not a circus act. that Mayweather Conor thing worked one time. It's not going to work every time. All right? What about Jesse Vargas getting 1.5 for Humberto Soto? That's insane. But hey, it's their money, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, Paul, they got to settle this out of court. Look, it's simple. Mutual separation. That's what's up. You have to have a mutual separation. That's what you need. Just let Canelo go. And you could do all the celebrity matches you want, and you want to have two MMA guys box on your network, let you do whatever you want. You know what I mean? Ion said he just bought it for a year, and that's why you don't pay for the fucking year. That's why
I'm sorry, man, but I was just saying I'm glad I'm splitting the bill with a friend.
Right.
I mean, we both kind of decided, since Canelo was literally the only thing they had when it first came out, we were like, well, let's wait and see. But then he was like, but we'll miss a Canelo fight. I was like, you know what? You're right. Let's just pay for it. Because I watch all the fights, I watch them all. So.
And let me tell you right now, man, I can't put too much blame on Canelo here. Yes, he wanted to fight Advil Urine, and that's a bullshit fight. I get it. But these other fights are fine, right? They're fine. The fact that David Benavidez wasn't on their fucking little stupid little list tells me everything. Because then it doesn't matter if he was ducking David Benavidez or not. It doesn't matter at that point. Like, because DAZN didn't want that fight anyway. They wanted him to box Khabib. This is insane. And this is, by the way, and he's here, and I've talked about it too, and Ari, the Rugged Man, brought it up. This celebrity era boxing has brought this upon us. All right? Every time I said, hey, man, give that guy a shot. He deserves a shot. Give it to him. No, but what has he done to deserve the fight? He doesn't bring in any money. He doesn't sell out stadiums. He doesn't do this. He doesn't sell pay-per-view. Well, that's the culture you've built. So basically what you're saying is if they sell seats, they should get every shot in the world, right? Well, no, that's not the way it works. Shout out to LT on that super chat. It says, God bless. Don't mute me on G-Funky, cabrones. You won't get muted. You're good.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I can tell you what happened, but Edging the Great, do you believe if he goes to PBC, he'll be able to bullshit fans like he currently is, or PBC is going to force him to fight top competition? What do you mean? You want to answer that question, G-Funky?
Sorry, I missed it. What was the question? Oh, okay, here we go. Okay. Do you believe if Canelo goes to PBC, he'll be able to bullshit the fans like he currently is, or is PBC going to force him to fight? Look, man, the thing is this. I'm one of these dudes. I don't think that a guy needs to be in there with killers every single time he's fighting. You still have to be able to showcase the guy every now and then. Back when I was coming up, Oscar did it. There was not a problem. Trinidad did it. These guys were, Roy Jones did it all the time. These are like the top guys in the sport. So, I don't understand. Advil Urine, that's a terrible fight. And he has no business being ranked number one. But I'm okay with him not fighting, all the dudes that are the best every single time. Like if we get a showcase in between, as long as it's a decent opponent, I'm okay. I'm okay with that, But I think PBC is a good move for him. I do. I think there's some good fights there for him. There's Benavidez, there's Plant. There's a possibility that, Charlo can maybe move up and fight him 168, because I don't think Canelo fights at 160 anymore. So, hey, I think it's a good move, man, in my opinion.
Canelo versus Tito Trinidad after the De La Hoya tune-up. That's insane. You know. So let me ask you guys this. So when you say, let me bring up the comment. Do you believe that if he goes to PBC, he'll be able to bullshit fans like he currently is? Or is PBC going to force him to fight top competition? Like, am I missing something? Or is Jacobs, was he not a top middleweight? Like, am I missing something?
That's a good fight for Canelo. That was a really good fight for him.
I don't understand. Well, what am I missing here? Was Kovalev not one of the top 175 pounders in the world? Am I missing something? Yeah. What am I missing?
I mean, if you really want to put a microscope on it, I mean, yeah, you could say he was probably, you know, the most likely guy that Canelo could beat out of the champions there at 175. But I mean, he's still a champion at 175, you know?
Like force them the way they force the Charlos to fight all the top competition, force them like that? Like, what are we getting at?
That's a good point. That's a good point. And I've talked about that on my channel too, about how these guys need to step up now. Credit to them. They're getting in there with some good competition now. But before that, they were literally bullshitting. Like you said, like this guy said right here.
Yeah. Well, look, I guess my whole point is, I mean, I get it, but I just think, look, I obviously have my criticism about Canelo, and a lot of Canelo fans believe that I'm like a Canelo hater, but like for whatever reason, okay? But I gotta be honest, like I don't see the big outrage with the last, outside of course, Liam Smith, Brocky Fielding, sure. Name me one fighter that doesn't have those in-betweeners. Come on. Okay? But his resume is not that bad. It's not. If you take the last 3 years, I'll put Canelo fought against anybody else. You name them to me. 2019, you name them to me.
Yeah.
I think he had a good 2019. I mean, this whole thing, he was going to fight Golovkin a third time and Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I mean? And then this pandemic happened. But now, like, this whole, like, oh, Canelo never fights anybody.
Not true. It's not true. I mean, like I said, I have my issue with him trying to sneak in there and get that WBC strap after Benavidez lost it. But I mean, other than that, I don't understand. There's not a whole lot to complain. You know,
that's Benavidez' fault.
No doubt, it's his fault. But
he didn't make the weight, Funky. He didn't make the weight.
No, I'm with you on that. For me, you know, in my opinion, I guess, you know, I said I felt like he is being an opportunist, trying to jump in there and take it while he lost it. You know, I didn't like the move, man. That's just my opinion on it.
You know, Mike, I would like him. You know who I would like him to fight? Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant ducked Canelo. He offered him the fight. He said, I don't have enough time. After that easy fight he had and shit. That throwaway fight. Everybody gets on Canelo for who he fights. Look who Caleb Plant fought. And then he said no to Canelo. Look at who he fought. And he said, nah, I don't want to fight. I need more time. All right? That's just the truth. Benavidez, motherfucker, can't make weight. You don't reward a guy with a big fight after he doesn't make weight. He didn't make weight. He lost a damn fight. It's the way I see it. You know,
I agree with that, but I also think that to me, it's a punk move, man, by him to try to sneak in there after he lost it, man. I'm sorry. I know you disagree, but that's just the way I feel about it, man.
Yeah, but you don't get to say it's a punk move, because a punk move is not making weight. That's a punk move. Okay? Not making weight, not being professional. You lose the right to say this motherfucker ducked you because you didn't make weight because you're not a professional. That's the way I see it with Benavidez. No one gets to say anything. Okay? He lost the right to call out Canelo, to play the victim and all that. He lost that.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to defend Benavidez. I mean, he fucked up. But at the same time, for him to try to sneak in there like that, man, like I just feel like in my heart I got to call it out, man. Like if I was Benavidez, I'd be feeling the same way. Like, oh, now you want to fight for my belt, motherfucker? I had it, and you didn't want to see me. You know what's up? That's what I'd be saying. You know.
Well, you had it, but you lost it because you didn't make weight, right? You don't make weight, you lose the right to say whatever. He lost the right to say it, G-Funk. He lost the right to say, hey, what about me? And I'm like, nah, you go to the back of the line, okay? Beat the scale or go fight at 175, motherfucker. Go fight better BF. Go fight at 175. That's what I think you should do.
Hey, he could do that too, but you know, the Canelo fights, it's a big fight, man. Him and Benavidez. Plant Benavidez or Plant versus Canelo. But you know, like I said, man, I just I didn't like the move, and I'm glad that that fight's not happening, man, because I'd be talking shit about it till the break of dawn, man. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you can say what you want about Benavidez, that's cool, but I think it's a punk move, in my opinion, man.
I mean, you keep calling it a punk move, but I think it's a bigger punk move not to make weight, right? Is he a punk for not making weight? If we're going to call Canelo a punk because he decided to go for the belt after the dude missed weight, then we got to call this dude a punk for not making weight himself.
I would call him lazy. I would call him lazy. I wouldn't call him a punk, though.
So we're not going to call the dude, right, that hasn't really fought anybody outside of a Durrell, right? We're not going to call him a punk for not making weight, right? But Canelo gets called a punk after he fought, you know, better opposition the year before. The guy who fought better opposition gets called a punk, but not the one that missed weight.
Yeah, I think so, man, because, again, Advil urine, bro. Like, come on. You want to fight Advil urine for the strap and not Benavidez? To me, that spells punk to me, man. I'm sorry, man. I just the way I'm looking at it, man. From a man-to-man perspective, not contracts and all this type of stuff. Like these Canelo fans want to talk, you know, they want to put the knee pads on for him, you know. So, you know, that's the way I'm looking at it, man.
All right. Okay. Look, Mike says, sounds like you're protecting him. Protecting him from what? Well, how am I protecting Canelo? Like, what are you guys talking? I want Canelo to fight the best. Okay. So, like, for example, is Caleb Plant not a good fight, people? He called him out. He said, let's fight. He didn't want to fight him. Well, what do you guys want me to do? Don't get mad at me. Go get mad at Caleb Plant. Benavidez didn't make weight. Go get mad at him. Don't get mad at me. I'm not the one that missed weight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's the one that missed weight. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't understand. How is that protecting him? Like, I wanted to fight a Billy Joe Saunders and Caleb Smith. DAZN is fucking with them. They wanted to box MMA fighters.
Yeah, that's retarded.
I don't understand.
I wanted him to fight Benavidez, man. I think that's a great fight, man. But, you know, he wanted to slide in through the back door, man. I got to call him out, man. I'm sorry. I got to call him out, bro.
By the way, it's not like he said, hey, get me my sparring partner in the ring. That dude was ranked, and he was in line to fight Benavidez, bro.
Yeah, and that's a garbage fight, too.
Well, I agree, but he was going to fight for the belt anyway. Canelo just he said, hey, let me fight for the You know what I mean?
Yeah. After Benavidez lost it, though, man. That's the problem.
It's not like he said, hey, but under one condition, I want to fight my sparring partner. That's not what happened.
I don't know, man. What about the reports, bro, that came out and said he wanted to fight? The WBC said they didn't order it. Canelo wanted it.
The report. Who reported this?
I'm not sure who did, but, you know, hey, I mean, he's not all innocent in this. Like I said, I agree he needs his money, no doubt about it, but he's not all innocent in this either, you know? I mean, that's a terrible fight. That's a fucking terrible fight.
I agree. That's a garbage fight. You know what I mean? Okay, of course that is a garbage fight, bro. I get that. But they said no to the fight, right? And then it's still a better fight than him boxing those fucking trash MMA fighters in a boxing ring. It's still better than that.
I would take that over that. I would take urine over that.
That dude would beat up Masvidal in a fucking boxing fight. I've seen that dude like hitting mitts and shit. He's trash. All right?
Garbage.
So, I'd rather see Advil urine than that shit.
I would too.
So I mean, That's what he's taking them to court, bro. Like, well, what do you want from these guys? Like in other words, at some point, people got to take a step back and say, you know, we got to stop blaming Canelo about everything. You know, like, so, like maybe we need to question, like, you know, these other fighters. Why nobody questioning Cada Plant for that obvious duck? Why no one questioning him about that? Why no one questioning Billy Joe Saunders, who did the same thing? Why no one questioning him? Like, well, why isn't nobody questioning motherfuckers that can't make weight? Okay, and they still want to fight Canelo after not making weight. Like, well, why doesn't he go fight Better Beef or something?
Hey, I'm telling you, man, there was a punk move by Canelo, man. I'm sticking to my guns, man. I didn't like it. I didn't like the feel of it, you know.
Did Canelo make him miss weight? Was that part of the conspiracy?
No, it's not Canelo's fault.
Food and shit or something?
But it was his fault to sneak in, you know, once he lost it, you know.
No, but in other words, none of this happens if a motherfucker just makes weight, right? So is it Canelo's fault that Benavidez didn't make weight? Is it his fault?
No, of course not.
Okay, Canelo didn't make him eat that food. Canelo didn't make him, you know, not work out a day, whatever the reason is.
Let me ask you.
Take cocaine the first time. Canelo didn't make him do any of that.
Well, let me ask you this then. If you were in Benavidez' shoes, what would you be thinking at the point? You wouldn't be like, oh, man, I should have done the cocaine.
I'm a pendejo for missing weight. That's what I would be thinking.
Ah, come on, bro.
How do you know Benavidez wouldn't be in the mix if he made weight? How do you know that?
He's a champion, bro. He had the belt.
No, but how do you know Canelo wouldn't have said, hey, I want to fight that guy? How do you know that?
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard him mention his name or anything.
Well, not now. The dude lost his belt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, like I said, I don't like the move, man. I don't like it, and I'll stand on that, man. I don't know, man. I think you started to convert, bro. Are you converting on me or what? You converting to Caneloism, bro, or what? Did you get baptized in the River Jordan? Canelo now or what?
Dude, listen to me closely, okay? Did Canelo have anything to do with this dude not making weight?
No, of course not.
Okay. So in order for this conspiracy, in order for Canelo to conspire and get the belt without Benavidez doing Benavidez has to fuck up in order for that to happen. Right? So he lost every right to complain about anything the moment he missed weight, is the way I see it.
Okay. So you don't see it funny at all that, you know, out of nowhere now he's like, I'm requesting to fight for that belt. Now that Benavidez lost it to the scale.
Well, it's not funny at all because it's an available belt. Right?
Okay.
It's
I
not
think
like
it's bullshit, but you know.
I don't believe the stories that Canelo handpicked urine to fight. You know what I mean? I just think he saw the vacant belt, and we still don't know, by the way, if Canelo was going to request a fight for it anyway. Because look, he just fought Kovalev, and he said he was going to campaign at 168. We know he called out Plant. You don't know if he was going to call out Benavidez or not. We don't know that.
I don't think so.
You don't know that.
I don't know for sure, but I just feel like the moves kind of confirm it for me, man.
Look, Black Caesar says it's the second time this dude loses his belt, bro. We can't reward guys like this that loses the belt twice. One for cocaine, second time for not making the fucking scale. We can't reward him by labeling him, oh, the guy Canelo ducked. So he gets rewarded. He gets called the guy that Canelo ducked for not making weight and for cocaine usage, loses his belt twice. He gets medaled. Okay, you want to put him on the pedestal and give him the gold medal of Canelo ducked this guy. You know, that's what you're going to give him? You're going to give him the medal, G-Funky? Why don't you just give him the gold medal? Well, why don't you just do that?
Bring him here. I'll put it right on him, bro. Put him on the middle stage, everything, bro.
Well, why not just email Boxrick and give the dude a W then, right now? Like, why don't you just do that?
I'm telling you, man, it's a stylistic matchup for Canelo, man. I don't think he wants to see that fight unless he absolutely has to, man. And for me, him trying to sneak in there after he lost it to fight Advil Urine, that shows it to me, man. That shows it to me. I'm sorry. That's just the way I'm looking at it, man. I don't like the move.
I like David Benavidez, but the dude's got to make weight. He's got to get his act together, and that's on him. It's not Canelo's fault. He got stripped. Okay.
I never said
Canelo's
that
getting
though.
blamed for everything. Blame him for everything. Oh, blame him for him getting stripped. Oh, Canelo did something to the scales, so he doesn't make weight, and Canelo had something to do with it. And
I
Canelo
never
did
said
this,
that.
and Canelo did
I
that.
never said that though.
No, but like you might as well.
No,
Right, like,
no.
at this
If
point,
I wanted
you
to say
might-
that, I would say that. I don't play with words. Is it Benavidez' fault? Absolutely, it's his fault for losing it. No doubt about it. Canelo had nothing to do with that. What I just said was I just don't like it. He tried to slide in there after he lost it, man. I wanted him to fight Benavidez for that belt, not take it from Advil Urine. You know? They might as well just give him the belt. You want to talk about putting gold medals on people? Might as well just put the belt on Canelo and just say fuck it, you know? Because Urine ain't shit. It never was shit. Never will be shit.
I agree. I agree that urine ain't shit. But my point is, you know, you don't reward a guy. Like, you don't give the guy the everyone is avoiding a medal when he gets he uses cocaine, gets stripped, it gets another chance, and then he can't make the fucking weight. Like, you don't reward that guy, right? Like, as soon as Neri couldn't make the fucking weight at 118, I stopped talking. Boom, cold turkey about him fighting anyway. I said, I'm not even going to entertain him fighting anyway because motherfucker can't even make weight, right? So like, the way I see it, either move up or show me that you can make the fucking weight, and then maybe we could talk about the Canelo fight. This is the way I see it. You don't reward guys for not making weight. Like, you know what I mean? You don't reward that type of behavior. Is the way I see it.
I agree. But that's not my argument, though. My argument is not like, well, you should fight Benavidez now for it. Like, I felt like he had his eye on the belt. This is the way I'm looking at it. This guy had his eye on that belt. He wanted that belt, but he didn't want to see Benavidez for it. He waited for Benavidez to lose it to the scale. I mean, if this dude, who did he fight? Angulo, this guy fought the last time. If that dude had happened to fucking pull an upset, land some shit on Benavidez and knock him out cold, I guarantee you this guy would have moved in there and said, oh, I'll fight for it now. Just like fighting for Advil Urine, man. It's a punk move, man. It's a punk move, man. I think you know it. I think you Canelo fans out there know it, man. You guys just don't want to admit it. That's all.
I mean, he lost the right to say anything about Canelo ducking him because motherfucker can't make weight. Like, that's the way I see it, bro. I'm just got to keep it real, right? Like, he's been stripped twice, and you want to reward him with the boogeyman status. You know what I mean? Man, you didn't make weight. You're the boogeyman. Like, nah, bro. Like, nah, you ain't shit. You can't even beat the fucking scale. All right? The way I see it. Like, Canelo was going to fight one of the champions at 168. He tried to fight Plant. It was getting narrowed down, G-Funky.
Yeah,
and
that
once
was almost
the
there.
belt became available, he said, hey, I'll fight for that belt. He's not the only one, by the way, that Benavidez signed up to fight for the belt, too. And guess who he was going to fight if he would have won that bid? Advil Urine, right? And I could guarantee you wouldn't be on here saying he's ducking Canelo if they would have had him fight Advil Urine. I could almost guarantee that right now. That would be the narrative.
But you could guarantee is that me calling dumpster juice of a fight, which is what it is. And that's exactly what I called the possible matchup of Canelo and Urine, dumpster fucking juice, man. But I want to see the fight, man. I want to see it. I don't know, man. I feel like you guys don't want to see that fight, man. That's what I'm thinking. I'm sensing a little bit of fear here, man. I'm sensing you guys, oh, well, he did this. Oh, well, he did that. Let's just let Canelo slide in and take the belt now, man. I don't know, man. I think it's a tough fight for Canelo, man.
Well, let's clear that up a little. Let's rewind. When you say I sense fear of what?
That he might beat him. Benavidez might beat him.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I want to see the best fight the best.
Well, I'm talking about a couple of these guys in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Black Caesar, you definitely can. Making weight is part of the fight. That's why weight classes exist. You know what I mean? If you don't make weight, in a way, that's almost like cheating. Like, you have a weight advantage over your opponent, right? Like you have to make the weight. That's the way it is. The fight starts as soon as they sign. They get that pen and paper and they sign. Okay, it's time to go training, get your sparring partners, do road work, and the lead up to all that, making the weight. Showing up at the weigh-in and all that. The stare down, all that shit. The ref instructions in the back, walking to the ring, the stare down, all that. All that is part of the fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the way I see it. So if you're getting nervous and you go in the ring with nerves, you can't like it is what it is. Like in this case, you don't make weight. That's it, bro. I see it as an L. You know what I mean? The way I see it. Like we got to hold these fighters accountable. We want to talk about holding Canelo. Let's hold Benavidez accountable, right?
I'm right there with you, man. I don't think it's a good thing, man.
Don't reward him with boogeyman status, okay? And don't reward him, okay, with getting another title shot right off the bat. That's the way I see it.
I don't want him to get it right off the bat. If he fights Advil urine for it, or whoever for it, and gets it, then I want to see Benavidez get a shot back at it somewhere down the line. Might not be immediate, but somewhere down the line. I agree with that. I just don't agree with the way he went about it, man. I think that's some punk stuff, man. And I'm not gonna change my tune on it, man. I just think that it's a punk move, man. I don't like it, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. I think that I don't think it is. I'm not gonna reward David Benavidez. Sorry, you know what I mean?
Cool. That's cool. I mean, I agree, man. I think there should be some kind of punishment, definitely, for Benavidez missing weight. But yeah, I don't like the move, man, from Canelo trying to sneak in there like that, man.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I just think fighters have to be held accountable. David Benavidez was going to fight Advil Urine, you know what I mean? It's just that they stripped him of the belt. That was already going to happen. So, no, Canelo didn't handpick this guy and request to fight him because he was already in line to fight for that title, right? And unless you believe there's some conspiracy to make him miss weight, right?
No.
And have Advil Urine ready for Canelo, unless you believe that, I don't see it.
So you still don't see it as kind of weird that he would just all of a sudden want to fight for the WBA strap after Benavidez loses it?
WBC, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but, look, man, I just, and I see, Joe Lopez 40 ounce has to jump in here. You know what I mean?
Hey, it's a good point. Good point.
He don't get reward after. No, he did not get rewarded. He served a suspension. That's why Golovkin had to fight that one dude. Martirosyan. He did not get rewarded. Not at all. If anything, we know Canelo was clean for that rematch because, Golovkin's side wanted him really tested. So, hey, just saying. You know what I mean?
But he did get a shot immediately, though. He didn't fight anybody else after that suspension, and he went right in there with Triple G.
What do you mean he got a shot? He was a champion. What do you mean he got a shot?
Got the rematch, bro. Big payday. That fight did over 1 million buys. So, we got to keep that same energy.
No, he served the suspension. You know what I mean? Like, you guys don't want Benavidez to serve any suspension. You want him to jump right through the fight. By the way, it's the second time. You know what I mean?
I agree. He's been irresponsible for sure, man. No doubt. But I don't like the move, man. I thought it was a punk move, man. On a man-to-man level,
I disagree. Like, he doesn't get boogeyman status. You want to give him boogeyman status, you fucky? You give him boogeyman status. It's okay. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to call him boogeyman, call him the boogeyman. You want to crown him? Crown him.
Crown his ass.
Right. Nah, Blacksy, he was ridiculed. He's still ridiculed. You guys are ridiculing him right now in the chat. What do you mean he was never ridiculed? Like, he is getting ridiculed. Till this day, the dude gets ridiculed. He still gets ridiculed for that. Come on. You know what I mean?
Hey, we gotta hold it out there like Benavidez, bro. We're holding it against him for doing coca, missing weight. We gotta hold this guy on the same thing, man. He popped dirty. I know that there's if I'm a conspiracy theorist, some of these Canelo fans are some real conspiracy theories when it comes to that one.
Well, I don't buy those conspiracy theories, but at the end of the day, I mean, he gave his explanation. I don't exactly buy it, but he gave his explanation. And he did serve a suspension, and and he, it's been tested ever since. So I don't know what else you want the guy to do. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want from the guy?
But he didn't have to build his way back up. right? Pop dirty, you know. Hey, no,
I'm not
didn't make him pop
saying.
dirty. The WBC didn't make him pop dirty, you know. Hey,
No, what I'm saying is this, right? On the eve of this dude missing weight and getting stripped, right? People already like because he beat this Angulo guy, want to call him some boogeyman, right? And say, "Oh, Canelo, he conspired, to get this guy stripped," and and I was like, "Nah, dude lost his belt, all right." Like I know you're not saying it was a conspiracy, but this, I read some, all right, not in this chat, but I seen them. So, like the way I see it, man, I just feel like he can't get boogeyman status. Like he lost that right. Sorry. Just like
I respect your opinion then, but I felt like he was a little scared of that fight. That's just the way I'm feeling it. Not that he's scared to fight him like
and
oh
I
god,
don't
like shaking in his boots, but
I don't sense the same energy for like no one gets on plan about not fighting Benavidez like this. You know what I mean? No one gets on.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah, like no, nobody gets on plan for the way he avoided fucking Canelo. Like yeah, Saunders, come on.
Yeah. Well, we got on Saunders' ass for that. We called him out on that,
Yeah, like Saunders, Plant, Smith, Benavidez, thank you about Canelo, have not fought each other, but Canelo has to fight all of them, right? These guys at 160 haven't fought each other, but Canelo has to fight all of them. Like I'm up for the dude. If you guys want me to go to the foxhole with you and be like, Canelo wants you to fight everybody, I'll be there with you guys. But you got to have the same fucking energy for every other fighter. It's just that this is the way I feel about it. And I just don't sense that. I'm sorry.
I agree. I've always said I want to see the best fighters. I want guys to go after all the belts. I put undisputed up there, I mean, jumping around weight to weight is good too. Don't get me wrong. But I'd rather see a guy clean out a division, man. Those guys need to fight each other,
Oh yeah, but like who's doing that? Like we have a couple of divisions, but who's cleaning up divisions? In and around Canelo's divisions. Like everyone's saying, hey,
nobody around there.
You have to sweep the divisions, Canelo. Like who else is doing that though?
No, nobody around his weight class. I mean, we had Crawford do it at 140. We got possibility at 140 again with Ramirez, Taylor, Crawford. If him and Bob Arum get their shit together, they have an opportunity to do again at 147. But they're just not doing it, and we've been critical of that too. So, I mean, you're right. A lot of these dudes need to keep that same energy, man. But I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them.
Well, it was a good discussion, G Funky. I'm sure I won the debate, but it's okay. You know what I mean? Give me a 1 if D Style's right. Give me a 2 if G Funky's right. Okay.
This is a setup here, man. Now I'm being a conspiracy theorist, man. But hey, yeah, Joe Lopez, Usyk did it too at cruiserweight. So we've had it a few times.
Did it, and does Usyk get credit? No, he still gets shit on. You know what I mean? Like. Dudes aren't consistent, bro. Look at that. LT won. Look at that. Chicano Prophet won. Okay, voting is closed.
No brainers there.
No Paul. A Stone. Look at this. G Funky.
Oh, I got a couple votes there.
Joe Lopez 40 ounce says 2. Come on, Joe Lopez 40 ounce. ING says 2. No Paul says Juan, bro. Okay. Hey, I want to do this prospect watch. While I do that, I think you saw my message there, Chief Funky.
Yeah. I got it ready to roll, baby.
So in about 5 to 10 minutes, guys, we'll be having HCP Uncensored on Chief Funky's channel. If anybody wants to jump on there, we can continue the conversation there. You know what I mean? But shout out to everyone listening, man. If those that missed it, go back on archive and check out the Ari, the Rugged Man. It wasn't really an interview, bro. It was like a conversation. This guy's a big boxing fan, and it was great to have him on. Great to talk about his album, all that good stuff, man. Great stuff. Check this out from Sonteo, man. I'm going to play this Prospect Watch of the Week. Check this one out.
Prospect of the week, Jesse Bam Rodriguez from San Antonio, Texas. He's a mini flyweight. He fought this Saturday, improved to 12-0. I believe he has 8 knockouts. He is promoted by Tekken Promotions. His pro debut was in March of 2017. Since then, he's had a couple fights in Tijuana, and he's also had a couple fights in San Antonio. But he started getting heavily marketed when he was 5-0. He was on the undercard of a Triple G card in Carson, California, against Vanyensen, and that was on HBO. In September of 2018, he fought in Ontario, and that was on the network Fox. The main event for that card was supposed to be Victor Ortiz, but that fight fell through, and I believe Brandon Figueroa became the main event. In December of 2018, he landed on the undercard of Wilder Fury 1 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. That was I believe that was a Showtime event. March of 2019, he landed on Fox pay-per-view on the undercard of Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence. That event was in Arlington, Texas, in Dallas. July of 2019, he headlined his own show in a city named Floresville near San Antonio, where he's from. February of this year, he fought on DAZN on the undercard of Mikey Garcia versus Jesse Vargas. And then for the first time in his career, he fought on the network ESPN just this Saturday, and he got a first round knockout over his opponent. Here's what Bernardo Osuna had to say. Bam is the real deal, as he served up a three-piece tonight against a former world title challenger. Robert Garcia calls him the most talented fighter in his stable, and that is high praise considering the guys at that gym. Can't wait to see this kid again. Bam is the future. I'm Sonteo on behalf of D-Style and G-Funky every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the show Hispanics Causing Panic on the Leave It in the Ring network.
Hey, great stuff by Sonteo there, man. You guys make sure you go to HCP Uncensored. The link is in the chat. Okay, so just go ahead and head out over there, man. I want to thank everyone, man, that tuned in to HCP 26, HCP 27 next week. And tomorrow I'll be live with Blood Boxing. All right, so he'll be giving away a Ring magazine, so stay tuned for that one. This is D-Style Boxing. And for G Funky, he's on Uncensored right now. And for everyone listening on the Leave It in the Ring network, keep it boxing. I'm out.